This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Well, good morning and happy Thanksgiving weekend. Glad you have joined us here on the Grow Omaha Show, the only program in the metro area that talks about business expansion, real estate construction, really the development, and really anything related to the growth and development of your favorite city. We want to thank our sponsors, which are Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. Now time to bring on my co-host, a man who is a legendary real estate deal maker and all-around broker, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Good morning, Jeff.
Well, good morning. We had a little bit of a microphone issue, but you're back on. You're back online now, and we want to let everyone know that we have a Grow Omaha Eats restaurant review this week, written by Sarah Baker Hansen. Of course, the Grow Omaha Eats restaurant reviews are brought to you by Cheer Athletics. That is the nation's premier all-star cheer gym. About 12 or 13 of them in the country, but the most important one is near Highways 50 and 370 in Papillion. And this week's Grow Omaha Restaurants review is SEMO in Fremont. And you can find it by going to growomaha.com, clicking on EATS on the navigation bar, and you can see Mo. And you can see Mo of it. And all of Sarah's reviews are there. In fact, in a little bit, we're going to be bringing Sarah herself onto the show and talk about all things restaurant.
And we're going to have a live restaurant. She's going to actually read from it. And what is like a poetry reading? It's going to be a restaurant review rating.
Oh, a recitation?
Yeah.
She'll read her own review. Actually, we're not going to do that, but we will talk to her about a variety of other restaurant topics. But first, it's time for the news of the week, sponsored by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. And Eagle Mortgage, as the name would indicate, in the mortgage business. But the key thing you need to know about them is that they, A, do a great job with high-quality people, and B, they also are unbeholden to any one bank. So they can shop the market, find the perfect mortgage for you and your circumstances. Doesn't matter whether you're going conventional, FHA, VA. They'll take care of all that. And now is the time to talk to them if you're thinking about doing it right after the first of the year. A lot of people, they want to get through the holidays before they start searching for a home. But there's no reason you can't take care of the mortgage initial meeting part now. EagleMortgageCompany.com or in person at the office, 114th and Davenport.
Even if you're not in the market for a home, buy another one. Our economy needs you.
There you go. Well, so the news of the week, Trenton, first thing we have a construction update. Construction has restarted on Ovation. That is the senior living building that burned down a year ago last spring in Heartwood Preserve. And so we went by it this week, and that is finally, it's going back up. And you'll recall...
I thought they'd been going on that for a long time.
Nope. They tore it down, got rid of it quite a while ago, and it's just been sitting there waiting, and now they're actually going vertical again.
They got the insurance check.
They saved the elevator shaft and like a little bit, the foundational stuff, and now they're rebuilding it. But you'll recall there were people that were just moving in when that happened.
Weekend. It was sad.
And I remember driving by the devastation after the fire, as I am wont to do, and you can actually see like people's paintings, hanging on the wall where it wasn't burned, and it was pretty sad.
I don't know if they ever came out with the cause of that. I thought it was something on the roof, like some kind of electrical or something, but I don't remember. I don't know if they ever announced it.
Well, also at Heartwood Preserve, we've got a cluster of buildings closer to Dodge, closer to the southwest corner of 144th and Dodge, that are nearing completion. One is the future Gunderson Jewelry flagship retail location, then a cigar bar building. Those are both 2 stories. And then in front of those, the future Charleston's and Mahogany Prime buildings are very close to being done. They're looking great. And then in front of those, a freestanding Starbucks and a retail strip. So there are a lot of cluster of buildings, heavy retail restaurant, really close to getting open in that Heartwood Preserve area. Also on the far south side of Heartwood Preserve, a lot of grading going on over in that area. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, that might be apartments.
I know Broadmoor has a bunch of land. I'm not sure where it is, but
That's probably what it is.
probably that project.
Okay, well, moving right along, we've got some other development news items for you today. The first one is Kiewit, the Fortune 500 company construction firm based here, appears to be the contractor of choice for the $450 million Memorial Stadium renovation project at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Congrats on Kiewit.
I was shocked.
After yesterday's game, I think some people would prefer they spend it more on name, image, and likeness money to buy some players, but apparently they're going to spend the money on stadium renovation. So congrats to Kiewit for nice little project there. We have a new organization that is going to take over the former Nebraska Christian College space in Papillion. This is south of south of Highway 370 on 114th Street. A lot of people probably haven't been down there because it's kind of a rural area.
Yeah, it's been there a long time.
Yeah, it hasn't really been developed yet around there, but the organization is called Vita Nova, and they help mothers in need, and they'll take over the entire Nebraska Christian College campus.
Wow.
And it's a 41-acre campus. It has 5 buildings, 2 dorm buildings, 17,000 square foot arts building, and so that seems like a nice use for that.
I wonder if they're a new startup. I assume they're a charity.
Yeah, nonprofit, yeah.
But I wonder, are they around the country, or is this a new thing?
I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. Good mission, but don't know a lot about them. A sewer project that we have talked about before. You know, it's not glamorous talking about sewer projects, but they play a huge role in future growth, because if you don't have the sewer, you can't really have buildings and people in them. So we have talked in the past, Trenton, about Sarpy County's sewer problem. Yep. The sewers they do have are just fine, but there is a ridge line, kind of like a high,
watershed,
like an elongated hill, a ridge that runs across the county. And anything that is south or southwest of that ridge line can't go into the traditional Sarpy County sewer system.
Which is like 60% of Sarpy County.
Yeah, so big growth. And the county already is the 3rd most populated county in the state, so it's only going to get bigger and bigger. Well, so that's been kind of hampering growth, and this project has been underway for a few years. It's going to take many, many more years, but the Sarpy County people behind this did get a $45.3 million low-interest loan, which will help that project. Overall price tag will likely exceed $250 million, according to Nebraska Examiner. I suspect it'll actually be more than that when it's all said and done, because this thing could take decades before it's fully built out. The good news, though, is every little bit that they complete means more parts of Sarpy County can be developed.
Well, and it's also on the way to Lincoln, and so you're going to see huge growth there. You're going to see all food groups. You're going to see single-family housing, multifamily housing, places of worship, retail. You're going to see all the services and everything come that way. It's a natural place for growth. Gretna's already going gangbusters, La Vista, Papillion. So yeah, there's going to be, it'll take time just like everything else. And then we've talked about before about the Platteview Road Expressway, which is it's already been a few years in the making, but they're going to do 4-lane divided all the way from basically I-29, Highway 34, and it's going to come all the way, and it'll come out by the outlet mall in Gretna, and the idea basically is for heavy truck traffic and kind of a bypass, if you will, so it'll take some pressure off Interstate 80 through Omaha, which should be a good thing. Probably some businesses along I-80 might feel it a little bit, but what do you think about that?
Oh, the cutoff along Platteview Road?
Yeah.
Desperately needed for long term. I keep getting mixed messages as to whether it's going to be controlled access freeway style or just 4-lane divided surface highway. Somehow, some way, I hope at least a good chunk of it is controlled access. I think the Nebraska Department of Transportation screwed up royally when they didn't build 204th Street with more capacity than they did several years ago when they did that project, either making it controlled access freeway style or a 6-lane thing. And we got to make sure and hope that the same problem, although I think the Platteview Road thing is driven more by Sarpy County than it is the state, if I understand correctly. But I am concerned that we might think a little small there, as we tend to when it comes to transportation around here. So state of Iowa and city of Council Bluffs officials last week approved plans for a $55 million 96-bed behavioral health hospital. This will go on an undeveloped lot just south, maybe a quarter or a third of a mile south of Interstate 80 on 24th Street in Council Bluffs. A Methodist Jenny Edmondson Hospital and Acadia Healthcare will operate this thing, about 83,000 square feet. Construction planned for March, completion in 2025. When it comes to behavioral health facilities, we can't get them open fast enough.
We've got plenty of them, and I think we need to look at, as important as they are, we've talked about this, but we got to look at the root causes as well. Social media being in the lead probably, but
except for the Grow Omaha Facebook page, that's very, very healthy and very positive.
I agree.
City of Gretna is raising money to construct a new library, and that will house not only the library, but maybe some city offices and a community center. Looks like it's going to be in close proximity to Gretna Crossing Park, which is their awesome new city park that's kind of like their outdoor showpiece of the city of Gretna. Doing a fundraising campaign right now. They want to wrap that up early next year, and the building should be completed in 2027. So, Trenton, that is the news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com, 114th and Davenport in person. Going to take our first break of the hour, and when we come back, we're going to bring on Sarah Baker Hansen. She is the renowned top food critic in Omaha and part of the Grow Omaha team. And we'll talk to her about all things restaurant. And we might even kind of get an idea of what the best restaurants she visited this year were. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Walking into a dull and uninspiring workspace.
I bet it's been close.
Yeah.
I could go look and see when my...
Seems like yesterday we met.
I know it does. I was just talking to someone the other day about that. Let's see, I can look in my folder.
We have the expertise to transform your space. So, whether you're looking to impress clients, boost morale, or simply inject some personality, we've got you covered. Check us out today at Wins.com.
We started
Sorry, Ron.
We started in June 22 with Koji. That was my first review.
Wow.
So it's been a year and a half.
Maybe we won't even mention it. Stand mixer is $49.99. There's so many Black Friday deals, I can't list them all. You'll have to hurry to Menards while supplies last to get these and many more Black Friday deals.
You remember the person we were talking about earlier, Sarah?
Yes.
Here's a response from his landlord.
Attention Hy-Vee
Yep.
shoppers.
So,
Are you interested
he is.
And the landlord's a good friend, so I think we'll just
I
not
think
even
that's probably...
give him credit.
I don't think he
Hy-Vee
deserves to be
and get
mentioned.
20 cents
Yeah.
off every gallon
All right,
of
he
gas.
shall not be
Most
mentioned.
insurances,
He,
including Medicare,
I think I told
offer
you this, but
benefit at
he was
no
the cause
cost to
of the
you.
most
Keep your
corrections
family healthy
that I
and
had to
smiling.
take in the whole because not because of like I was wrong, but because he lied to me about projects.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then like other people would call me. It happened once he was telling me he was gonna redevelop the corner of 50th and Underwood into a second location of Krug Park. I reported it. It was a complete lie. All the owners
None of
called
it
me like
happened.
immediately and said we haven't even talked to this guy. So I had to delete the whole story. And then a second time about another place.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is
Reported
based
it.
in the gut.
The mind can be a terrible thing.
I told him straight out, I'm not gonna, if you tell me anything before I report it, you need to give me a second source so that I can talk to it to verify it.
Took a grand tour.
There are some people like that.
It's like my friend Mike McKnight. Hey, Mike, I got this great story for you. Can you give me 3 leads and
Learn more at
Hey,
dinovite.com.
Mike, if you're watching, we appreciate all of the
I know you do.
we appreciate all the tips you give me.
Take out just a little bit.
Don't let Trent scare you off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just take out his lesson.
There's a lot of rumors that go around, as you guys know, but, you know, a rumor is one thing, a lie is something else.
Yeah.
Have you ever, you got to preface it as
It's one thing,
A
but a
mistake
lie
is
is
fine,
a lie
but a
is on
full-out
purpose.
lie
Yeah.
that you're, like, telling to a newspaper reporter.
Yeah. A lie is on purpose.
Not cool.
Sorry, I cut you off.
You're good.
Which I do.
Has anybody tried to do like a
All right, here we go.
a restaurant?
Oh, that was quick.
Where everybody's been working.
No.
Listen to News Radio 1110
Not
KFAB
I don't know.
It would be
anywhere.
hard because they're transit.
Radio app. All your music.
And Grow Omaha's back on the air. Jeff Beal sitting next to Trenton Maggot. We're brought to you by D&M Roofing and Siding and Dingman's Collision Center. Dingman's is the top-notch auto body repair business in the metro area. 4 locations. And we got Papillion, we've got 144th and Industrial, we've got Northwest Omaha, 120th and Maple, and then we also have a Midtown location. Trenton, which location did you choose?
Wednesday night, I dropped off my car to 144th and Industrial Road. Apparently, the car in front of me was going slower than I was, and
How
nobody
dare
got
they
hurt.
do that?
Yeah, nobody got hurt, but Andy Dingman and Travis Dingman and their family and team will take care of me. And I am just trying to secure the sponsorship for another 6 months. So you're welcome, Jeff.
Have you ever noticed that ever since we brought Dingman's on as our sponsor, we've had lots of little issues?
Yeah, well,
Now, most of them have not been our faults.
it's been a long time. I owned up, and I apologize for this one, but the same car, someone might have hit it like a week into me having it. And so when I texted Andy Dingman, I said, do you have any paint left?
May you, ladies and gentlemen, not have as many fender benders as we have experienced in our 2 households over the last year and a half. But if you do, go to Dingman's Collision Center. Trent and I can personally, several times over, verify that they do absolutely outstanding work. Good people, good service, a high level of integrity. We love working with them.
You know, we're supposed to go, when we endorse somebody, we sponsor somebody, we need to go use their product or service. And so nobody can blame us. You know, we use, well, the roofing is, they do such a great job as they don't really have to
with
come back.
D&M?
But
Yeah.
but when it's due or there's a hail damage event.
Well, let's bring on Sarah Baker Hansen. Everyone knows that name here in town. Former food critic with the World Herald for many years. More importantly, she's now part of the Grow Omaha team. Also public relations executive in town. Sarah, welcome back to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Well, good to have you here. And I read that review that you had in Thursday's Grow Omaha newsletter about SEMO in Fremont. Why don't you give everyone a little bit of a brief about it?
Yeah, so SEMO, newer in Fremont. It's on the main street downtown in Fremont in a historic building. Chef Drew Statz and his wife Michelle, who she is also a chef, a pastry chef, and a sommelier, running it together. I think you can tell by reading my headline on the review that I really enjoyed my experiences, and I can't remember if I've ever reviewed a restaurant in Fremont, like ever in the history of my reviewing.
So are there a lot of, I assume it stands out. What's the price point over there?
You know, honestly, I review a lot of different types of restaurants, and I thought for what it was, it's fairly affordable. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the highest high-end point, but, you know, it is it's kind of in a small town, but it's adjacent to, you know, West Omaha, obviously, Elkhorn. Drew mentioned Valley. So they've seen people, they expected to see people from kind of the surrounding sort of smaller communities, but they've seen a ton of people from Omaha. So he said, you know, he sort of initially thought it was going to be one thing, and then that it was going to have to be more affordable was one of the things he thought originally. And then when people started coming in, the menu items that weren't moving were the more affordable items. So they took them off and they went higher end with the whole thing. And so that's I thought that was kind of an interesting detail.
Sounds like they filled a void.
He's he kind of, you know, I think he's confident enough to let the customer decide what they want to eat and is sort of pushing the restaurant in that direction.
It was a high-end food desert.
Yeah, weirdly, there isn't very many high-end, locally owned places out that way. I will say if you live on 10th and Dodge like I do, it is going to take you a solid 45 minutes to get there. But I feel like it was worth the drive. Really enjoyed it. Excellent service. All the pasta is homemade. I would say, we talked a lot about how when they first opened, people thought it was going to be sort of like an Italian-American place, and that's not what it is. It's more classic Italian. I would say it's more adjacent to what Drew did when he was the chef at Dante. So that's probably what I would compare the pasta section, but there's no pizza. Then there's a protein section that's focused on a lot of interesting proteins. Like there was pheasant one night, which I thought was kind of cool. Blood sausage another night, which
Sounds
I told
delicious.
him I've never had. I don't think I've ever seen that outside
With
of
a
La
blood orange
Bouvette.
puree.
It wasn't. No, just the
just
blood
one blood.
sausage. Yeah, only one blood item on the plate.
So speaking of, you're 10th and Dodge. You reviewed another restaurant a few weeks ago, Cibo Vino,
Yeah.
and I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And it's priced right as Don Dottie.
Yeah, yeah. I thought Cibo Vino is a really, I think, a good concept for that corner because that corner's really struggled. We talk
Passport.
we talk about spots in the city, and there's spots all over the city that have this sort of like moniker of being cursed, like nothing can survive there. And I feel like that spot, I think I counted back in time before it became Cibo Vino, I think has been 4 or 5 different restaurants.
I remember Jay's on Jackson.
Jay's on Jackson was there. There were a couple other really short-lived ones that like opened and closed before I ever even got to go. But Cibo Vino, I noticed after I reviewed it, and not that this has anything to do with me, it's just a solid restaurant, but that corner patio that they have, absolutely packed. And I've always thought that's such a cool space and a neat kind of patio and a neat bar area. Like if something cool opened in there, which I think it has, I'm glad to see it successful. The Old Market needs more kind of reliable spots like that.
So we're talking with Sarah Baker Hansen, who writes Grow Omaha Eats restaurant reviews. And Sarah, I'm curious. We report so many new restaurants that open here on Grow Omaha. When you look back at this year that is almost over, in your opinion, what are the best new restaurants that opened in the Omaha area? And maybe you could give us a quick liner about why you think each one is worthy of that recognition.
Well, I'm looking. I happen to have my whole every folder that I've shared with you in the year of all the reviews I've done, and I would say some of my favorites that I reviewed this year, definitely Kanara. The Indian place that I reviewed in
nice
February.
people as well.
Super nice people.
Regency.
Really interesting food. A really cool space. I love that that the chef there, Ashish, is making so many dishes that are from the part of India where he's from. And I think one of the really cool things that he started doing is a chef's table. So it's sort of like a multi-course meal at this big shared table in the back of the restaurant, and that's where he really, I think, even goes one level deeper into his familial, tastes and sort of like dishes that I, as a diner, when I went, had legit never even heard of, let alone eaten. So
it's a community table. Like, you don't know everybody there at the beginning of the meal.
So you meet new people, you get to try these new foods. Ashish comes out and sort of talks about his family and some of these dishes and what they mean to him. So it's a really cool kind of personal chef experience in Omaha. So I really like that. In February, I wrote about Ota, the new, probably the highest dollar and the most coveted spot in Benson, Dave Utterback's new sushi place. I've dined at Ota twice.
Is that part of the other restaurant there?
So it's next door to Yoshitomo. So they've moved the door to Yoshitomo a little bit to the west, and now you sort of go in and it's a little like lobby area between the two. And if you go straight ahead, that's where Ota is. And if you go to the left, that's where Yoshitomo is. And so there's only 8. I think that max seats at the counter is 8. And Dave prepares everything personally right in front of you and hands it to you. It's a really singular experience.
Are there tables or just the bar?
Just the sushi bar. Yeah.
Well, we're going to interrupt this because we have to break for the news at the middle of the hour. But when we come back, we're going to have Sarah continue to go through some of the best places that she tried and talked about in 2023. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
I have one review left that I can't mention yet.
Have you been to Salted Edge?
Not yet, but everyone is asking me about it.
Everyone says it's great. Who's been there? Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk about it online in case I want to go there tonight or live.
Yeah. No, I think I'm going to do it in January.
Oh, okay. Good.
Because it hadn't been open long enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Really.
Yeah.
That building is so cool. Have you been to an event there? Have you seen
awesome.
pictures?
Yeah.
I've seen photos of it, and my sister and brother-in-law that I was out with last night, they were talking about how cool it is.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is really good. The bread plate is supposed to be...
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about this bread plate.
I've heard the same thing, and normally I don't get very. A lot of times I skip bread.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
if it's that good,
I saw
I'll eat
it. It's
yeah.
like a board
Yeah.
with all different
Have you
kinds of
been
bread on
to Pasta Mori since it's
No, but I just read, where did I see it? Was it on Omaha Food Lovers?
But
I
that
saw
was a long
something
time ago,
about
wasn't
it.
about a year or so.
Yeah, but I saw someone
a couple
doing a
years,
post
hasn't it?
about it, that it was good.
It's very good. We've been there a couple times in the
It was
last
good
6 months.
before.
Yeah.
They have
Good cocktails, too.
if you get carbonara there.
Yeah, Rockbrook. Long time.
What kind of pasta is it?
Been
Where
there forever, but it's
it has
very
like
good.
air, like
COVID.
it's.
Open in the middle.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Oh my god, it's weird. It's just a different.
But it like the sauce like gets in there.
Yeah, do you like it? I'm just not
Wait,
used
what
to
are you
that.
talking about, Tom?
Bucatini is like if you know what carbonara is with the egg.
Yeah.
The best I think is a bologna crust.
Yeah, theirs is amazing.
And but it has like imagine eating like a thick spaghetti, but it's got like air in the middle. Like it's I don't know how they.
Open in the middle. There's like a hole.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
It's like a tube.
But it's a thin tube.
Yeah.
It's a thin. It's like a thicker
thinnest
than a
you're gonna get.
spaghetti, but
So it's like
thinner.
it's a lot thinner than Moscacholi or something.
Oh yeah. Uh huh.
No, it'd be
It's like a long noodle.
Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
like a manicotti noodle?
No,
But it's thinner?
it's skinny.
Imagine like
So it's like a thicker spaghetti with a hole in the
Yeah.
middle.
the hole in the middle is smaller than is like a spaghetti piece of spaghetti.
We'll look at it.
They're describing this pasta.
I should know this. Generally mad at me for that way.
See, you're the
Yeah.
foodie chef.
However, there is a solution. DINO.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've seen that before. I've had that before.
When you're not
I
expecting
just didn't
it,
know it was called bucatini.
Yeah.
it just has some air in it.
Yeah. They didn't have it. I was surprised.
I just
that-
have to air my grievances.
I'm sure it was on the. I'm sure it's
They'll
been
have
on the
them.
menu at SEMO, but they had some really cool pasta
Why
shapes.
is the name Simo?
It's actually probably pronounced semo, I'm guessing, because it stands for semolina. It's like the flour that's used to make pasta in Italy.
No.
Yeah, sometimes I've always thought Fremont actually has a lot of potential
It's
because their
interesting, it's
downtown is
cute.
cool. They have a cool historic downtown. They've got Midland University there, so they got like a higher education anchor
Yeah.
there. Decent amount of industry, and then the proximity to Omaha.
Yeah. I mean, I was asking my brother and sister-in-law again. They live in Elkhorn, and I was like, "Have you guys been out?" And I think for them it would only be
Oh, that's easy.
15 minutes,
Oh, yeah.
maybe.
Easy trip.
Yeah.
Is Bella Vita still there?
No,
think
it
it
closed.
closed.
It died.
And they still have that barbecue place across the
Glen
street.
Charlie's is still there, but Bella Vita closed down. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I don't know if anything has taken the spot yet, though.
God, I reviewed that years ago.
Yeah, we always had fun going there. I liked the space.
The
Like
atmosphere was cool.
I like the corner space of the windows.
Have you eaten at
and all that
Untamed
sort of
Kitchen
thing.
yet?
Not yet. Hasn't been open long enough.
My friend Alex.
Yeah, he's their broker.
Matthew.
We did that. We did that at least like 2 years ago.
I knew it had been a long time. Matthew said been there a
That's
couple
not his
times.
fault. The landlord needed all the the HVAC, the
Oh my
utilities,
God.
and
Must
everything.
have been
else.
that building seemed like it was trashed.
It's very old.
Yeah.
Those
Looks good now.
buildings.
Matthew's seen Clayton Chapman there all the times he's gone.
Yeah.
So.
No, he's the chef.
Oh, Matthew's been a couple times.
Yeah, I haven't. He works downtown, so he walks over there.
Yeah. Where's your office?
Like Midtown Crossing across
Oh,
the street.
in that building on the north side of Dodge. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay. I know that. I've seen the sign there.
Yeah.
Well, it's not very far.
No.
Breezy will have a high of 30.
What's the best restaurant in Midtown Crossing?
The
Man?
high around 40.
There's your
forecast. I'm Roger Olson.
Says Pickle Bean Square.
I don't think so.
Besides the sub sandwich
It's really
place.
gone downhill. I've never been to that pizza place.
I have not either. My wife
Smoke
liked
and
it. My wife liked it. I've never
I mean,
tried
Modern Love is good.
See, that's a sauce. Like, it's just throw a bunch of sauces on there and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I just
I don't. I mean, I think it's fine. I never go there.
Have you guys tried the wings place at Midtown Crossing? I haven't either.
I've been there. It's a long time.
Supposedly it's supposed to be good, but I've never tried it. I went to Paul Moss. It was okay.
Mexican?
Yeah.
The new what's the new coffee shop? Stories?
Yeah.
I like the
I love
Stories.
Stories. I like
Are they at Midtown Crossing?
Where the culprit was.
I think Stories has good stuff. The only, like, the one on 114th and Davenport, I go to a lot for meetings.
Oh my God, it's packed.
Well, it's the problem about going to meetings there. There's so many business people there. You feel like everyone's eavesdropping into your conversation. Because we all want to know, like, gossip.
There are some restaurants that are just easy for business around that area.
But the coffee's great. I love the coffee.
Firebirds is like, it's never that crowded for lunch. It's kind of just a booth.
And it's pretty good. It's
not
pretty
bad. I like Firebirds wine. So it looks like Firebirds wine. Firebirdswine.com.
They have. Oh, I thought you meant they had like their own label or something like that. Their own label.
The other day we were talking about my birthday's on Christmas.
There's something I do between 9 and 10 o'clock on.
So you're a Christmas baby.
We used to go out for dinner when I was a kid on Christmas.
Do you want to say anything to the public? I got you live.
Two restaurants were open.
It's the break. What's up? I only have like an hour left on that
That used to be like on 114th.
In Old Mill?
No, it's
I loved that place when it was new. It was beautiful.
So fancy.
And it was so beautiful inside of the koi fish. Yeah, I loved that place.
My sister loved it.
The old Imperial Palace, but that had the koi fish things.
Well, there's only 3 things that building could have been: a Chinese restaurant, bathhouse, or
a dance club.
No, Oriental Rug Palace.
Oh right. What is that?
Nico now
torn down. It's a Hampton Inn now.
Nico and his partners now own a mattress place.
But you were saying so you would do that. It was your birthday dinner on Christmas
every
Eve.
other year. So the only 2 restaurants that were open near where my parents were. Jericho's or that Imperial.
Hey, the prime rib at Jericho's is good.
Yeah.
I went to Jericho's like a month ago.
Prime rib is good.
It's solid.
I love.
No, it is, but it's like you brought down the age in there.
I did. You know, also I love about Jericho's the chairs.
Yeah, oh yeah, those are old school.
Like those leather
with the wheels on them.
Chairs.
Yeah.
It's like you can eat your steak in a recliner.
Yeah, and they have wheels on them.
My mom loved that place.
And they make really good prime rib chili.
I've had it, yeah.
It's delicious.
You know what I think?
Craig Wolf and I, when we'd go to lunch, we used to go there all the time. All right, here we go.
Brothers Sebastian's always
Sports talk
yeah,
podcast.
I like Brothers Sebastian's
Never
too.
sounded so good. News Radio 1110 KFAB, an iHeart radio station.
And we're back. Grow Omaha is on the air, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. That is the premier roofing contractor you'll find in eastern Nebraska and western Iowa, both residential and commercial roofs, and outstanding team of technicians that have a lot of experience. One of the things that's nice about D&M is their people are very loyal, and the longer people are at a company and the more loyal they are, the more it translates to a good product, a great finished roof when you're done. And it is also time for our Noddle Companies Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight. Noddle Companies, based here in Omaha, doing real estate developments in a variety of states across the nation. Here in Omaha, they have the Builders District downtown, Exarban Village in Exarban, and also River's Edge. They've got Steel Ridge, many, many others. And today we got a couple little quick updates from 2 of their developments. First of all, Exarban Village, decked out for the holidays now, Christmas lights in place, a lot of festivities there, so a good place to go in the evening during the holiday season.
I went to Rub.
How's Rub?
Rub is really good. It's the guy from Alcrant, and great chicken, great pork, and they have plantain.
And it's quick serve, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is in the
kind of like
the north end of the HDR building, ground level.
Chipotle or something.
Okay, well, let's go. Yeah, we'll have to put that on the list. If you haven't tried Rub, get out there to Rub. And then also Builders District, which is north downtown. That mass timber building that we've been monitoring construction of is now pretty much enclosed and coming along nicely. And that is your Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spotlight. If you want to inquire about a Noddle Company's project or just learn about the firm, just go to noddlecompanies.com. Well, we have Sarah Baker Hansen with us today, food critic of great reputation and experience in the Omaha area, part of our Grow Omaha team. And Sarah, before the break, we were talking about some of your favorite new restaurants that you've tried in the last year, and let's just go with the continuation of that discussion.
Yeah, so I'm looking at my list, and I forgot I reviewed some of these places. But you know what I've really, really liked this whole year, well beyond the time when I reviewed it, is the Mill on Leavenworth.
Oh, yeah, the new coffee place.
Yeah, coffee shops are sort of, I don't know, people think it's a little weird to review that. But I loved the Mill in Lincoln when I was in college, and I've really enjoyed going to their Omaha location. And I think it has taken off. There are so many people going there and hanging out, business meetings, or just, I don't know, working.
Food?
There's like small, like bakery items and stuff. And then in the evening, they serve wine, and they have some like snacks to have if you go there for a happy hour, which I've done a couple of times to meet people. And I just really like the atmosphere and the environment. It's very cool. So yeah, I like that a lot. And then I think I should probably also mention Moots, which I really, really enjoyed in Countryside Village. And I don't know what you guys think. You know more about this than I do. But I really feel like Countryside Village is having a moment. Like, it's been totally reinvented with all these new, very cool businesses.
Yeah, no, I think that they get a lot more high-end restaurants, bars. Everybody talks about the old Starbucks space, and supposedly the lease is signed, and supposedly they're working on it. I don't know who's dragging their feet, but
for Saddle Creek Breakfast
Club, it's getting a little old. There's it just says leased on it.
Yeah, it has for a while.
As far as we know, it's still going there.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, it's great. It's going to be great either way. But I think, I really like Koji. I think it's such a cool thing. Yakitori, it's the only spot in Omaha that we have that. I really like Inkwell, the bar next to it. I think Timber on the corner,
Timber's
just very
consistent.
Solid. Good neighborhood spot. And I feel like Moots is it's such a cool, I really enjoyed writing that one because it's such a cool story. Colin Adkisson's parents are like working, his dad's running the cash register, his mom is like,
was his nickname Moots or something growing up?
Yes, that's
really?
Right. That's what it's named after. But I just think the pizza's really good, super small menu, really focused in on exactly. It's sort of like a thin crust, but it has this like really bubbly, puffy, crunchy, airy edge, which I really, really like. I liked Moots when it was at the food truck, and I was so excited to hear that it was opening, and then I waited like a year. We all did for it to open. And I think that was just a really fun and exciting opening. Little tiny, it's literally a mom and pop and son place.
Does Sarah Baker Hansen enjoy food trucks?
I do, of course.
I'm kind of I'd rather sit down in a restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends, like I when I used to work at the World Herald, there would be, I think Thursdays, the food trucks would like line up next to the Jean Leahy Mall, and there would just be hundreds of people from, all of the surrounding offices who would go down there. And I always thought that was really fun. Like we would go down there.
Sense of community.
Yeah, for sure. And it's fun to sort of see what the new food trucks are and kind of who's starting up and what types of food they have.
Sarah, as we look into the future, where are the holes in the Omaha restaurant scene? Either, a type of a restaurant or a type of cuisine that we should have and we don't, or not much of a presence.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that we have enough Mexican restaurants now.
I think we have quite a few. I feel like, one of my things that I've talked about for a long time, and I think it's gotten a little bit better, but I really think that Omaha could do a better job with barbecue. I think, you drive a couple hours down to Kansas City and like your mind is blown by how good the barbecue is. And then you come home and you're just like, why is there no person who is doing that level of barbecue in Omaha?
I think Porky Butts is doing them pretty big.
Yeah, and I think Porky Butts is like the name that always comes up. And, you know, I just think we could do a little bit better. I think another sort of like interesting thing, and one of the reasons I reviewed the spot in Fremont was that so many people always talk about how West Omaha is like dominated by national chain restaurants. And there needs to be more kind of like locally owned places. And I think, you know, the success of places like Dante, for example, just like is killing it.
Right.
It's a good example of, you know, what people are hoping for and wanting more of. And so I think I think that's a real hole. There could be more kind of places that would open that are that style of restaurant, not necessarily Italian, but just locally owned, chef-driven restaurants in West Omaha. And I start to hear about more of those. So I think it'll be really interesting next year. I do feel like I will be traveling more around the West Omaha, because there are places
You're not
that
gonna
are
get a nosebleed, are you?
I think I'll be okay. I'm going to have a higher gas bill, but I really want to check some of those places out because they're really being talked about, and you know, maybe it's happening. There's going to be more local.
When it comes to trends, it seems like a lot of restaurants they're not looking at calories. And I understand it's restaurants and things like that. Untamed Kitchen down at 15th and Farnham just entered the market a few weeks ago, and it's had great feedback, and I've been down there a few times. It's Alex Harrington and Clayton Chapman, who was with Grey Plume and Pickleman's. But is that unique? Because it's tasty, healthy stuff. We don't see a lot of that.
I think it's, to me, I haven't been there, so full disclosure. But I think it sounds to me like it's chef-driven, healthy food, which is something we haven't seen.
Well, Sarah, appreciate you joining us today, and more importantly, we appreciate the great reviews that you're writing, and people can see every single one of them. Going back to the very first review that you did when you joined Grow Omaha a couple years ago, simply by going to growomaha.com and clicking on Eats, EATS on the navigation bar. Do you want to give us a quick hint about a couple places that might be reviewed in the next couple months?
Well, I have one that I'm very excited about to end the year on. Not a new place, a place I have been wanting to revisit, and finally I'm doing it, and I'm excited to share it in a couple weeks. And then I think I'll be spending some time, like I said, in West Omaha come January. So we'll always keep it interesting. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to continue to write reviews. It's truly a thing I love to do. So
I talked Jeff down, so you're still on.
We love it, and around here at Grow Omaha, we are officially addicted to food. So Sarah Baker Hansen, food and restaurant reviewer, food critic extraordinaire, and you can see her work on our website. Going to take our final break of the hour, and when we come back, it'll be the Turner Construction Lightning Round. Looking at the list, there are a lot of things there. You don't want to miss any of it. In fact, if you got a cocktail party tonight, we're going to give you something to talk about. So we'll see you in just a moment. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding on News Radio 1110 KFAB. Good stuff.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for coming.
We'll
do it again and again.
Peace out.
Sarah, thanks much.
Thank you. See you later.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Nice to meet you.
This way. Nice to meet you in person too. Let me know when you want me to be on again.
Anytime.
Okay.
Right now, buy one 20-volt max brushless drill.
Yeah, just Jeff and I now.
For just $99.
The ghost of Thanksgiving past.
Valid through 11/29 while supplies last.
After the guest leaves, we've got nothing to talk about. Oh, 30 seconds still?
How about them Huskers?
Oh, yeah. These are tough 4 games.
But they're not losing by much. I mean,
No,
they're like a couple degrees away from doing something special, I think.
They've got the new guy's established a good base, but he's got to get a real quarterback, and the offensive line still needs a lot of work. We'll see. Don't have to worry about it for another 8 or 9 months.
Because they're clearly knocked out of a bowl game. Right?
Yeah,
they had a shot if they
losing
won.
record. Yeah. You have to be 6-6.
I think there should be a Westside High School Nebraska scrimmage.
Are we good? Okay.
And welcome back to the show. It is your Turner Construction Lightning Round, brought to you, of course, by Turner Construction. They are building Omaha's future, and they got their start here about 2017 doing the massive Sarpy County Data Center along Highway 50, also known as 144th Street. But they do projects all over the metro area. And they do them of all sizes. A great team that is dedicated to doing what they do. Many of them have been in the Omaha construction scene for decades. And so there's deep local knowledge. But then on the other side, Turner Construction is one of the best known and most respected contractors in the world. And so you've got this deep well of experience, a deep bench of talent, if you will, mixed with this local knowledge and a lot of love for the Omaha market and Nebraska. And so great place to work, great place to work with. And if you're thinking about doing anything from a tenant remodel to building an entire campus, give Turner a chance. You'll be glad that you did, and you'll be impressed with their work. Turner Construction, sponsor of the Lightning Round. All right, Trenton, we have a couple new businesses to talk about. One is Blue Moon Apothecary, not apothecary, Blue Moon Apothecary and Curiosities. So basically Blue Moon Apothecary with coffee and tea. It's a gift shop that opened just yesterday at 138th and West Maple in a small retail strip near Office Depot and Kohl's.
That's interesting. Have you driven by Amateur Coffee?
I have not driven by Amateur Coffee, but I'm aware of it.
Midtown on the north side.
I'm aware of it.
And it just sounds interesting, like Amateur Coffee, like, yeah, we're just practicing.
We started out as amateurs.
I hear it's good.
But we got pretty good at it.
We just kept the name.
Spare Time Entertainment will open its luxury entertainment center next Thursday, November 30th, in the former Gordman's location, 172nd and West Center Road. It'll be Spare Time's 18th location and first in Nebraska. 50,000 square foot space. They're going to have 22 bowling lanes, 80 arcade games, escape rooms, a laser tag arena, event space, and most importantly for you and me, Trenton, a full service restaurant and bar.
See, that's an interesting risk, given how the V and I think this is different management and location.
It's established.
But
18 locations.
It's like Dave and Buster's with bowling, and I was like, but there's fine. Let's try it out.
I believe I went to a Dave and Buster's once many years ago that had bowling alleys in it. I think like Florida or something like that.
That makes sense. I
could be wrong. It's happened before. Interior build out is coming along for the future NetPar, 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 225 North 12th Street in the Capital District. NetPar is an upscale indoor simulated golf business that also serves craft beer, handcrafted cocktails, a curated wine list, and a limited menu of elevated bar food. NetPar has 3 existing locations, every single one of them in the state of Indiana. So the 4th one will be here in Omaha, and the website is now accepting reservations starting December 15th. So that's just right around the corner.
I love that when we get things like that, like Williamsburg Pizza.
Yeah, one of the first places outside of where it started. It's pretty cool, Trenton. Orange Love is a party and entertainment store. They will hold their ribbon cutting Tuesday, and their store is at 8060 South 84th Street in La Vista. It's part of that Brentwood Square retail development. They sell party decorations, tableware, balloons, other party supplies. And then the Applebee's restaurant building by Oakview Mall, 3350 South 143rd Plaza. It's on a pad site just outside to the west of Oakview Mall, listed for sale or lease. And it's available in April. So one would presume Applebee's is coming this spring. Hard to imagine. Cumbia plans to close its current location at 329 South 16th Street in the heart of downtown this coming Thursday, November 30th. It is a locally owned Latin-themed tapas bar and restaurant. Now, they have said they plan to reopen in a yet-to-be-announced location in the future.
Hope they do. Cumbia is actually a fun environment. I've been to Colombia a few times, and it's pretty authentic.
So how authentic is it? So is it primarily focused on Colombian food?
Yeah.
Okay, because when you go to their Facebook page, website, it just says Latin American theme, but I had thought it was more Colombian.
They're inclusive.
They're inclusive. Okay, and you thought it was like the real thing. It'll be interesting to see where they go. Downtown 16th Street can still be a little bit tough for businesses. We're still working on our density down there. We've been hearing that the Twin Towers right there are going to become
Park
residential.
Plaza.
And
most of those tenants are out of there.
Yeah, Trenton, if that happens, that will pull even more people there to help keep future.
There's rumors about a
future versions of Cumbia open.
It's where Sullivan Steakhouse is, and there's a Starbucks and a lot of office space.
You said there's rumors about
450 apartments, excuse me.
Oh, it'd be that much?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that'd be a pretty good supply. Well, speaking of downtown, the Holiday Lights Festival, which is on the riverfront and the parks and all that sort of thing, that kicks off tonight at 6 p.m. I know workers have been moving feverishly, getting all of those millions of lights in place. And if you're looking for something to do, maybe stop by that.
In the flooded loop.
And with that, we are out of time. I hope everyone has a great week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, D&M Roofing and Siding, and Turner Construction. Chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
All right. DNA Roofing. D&M Roofing.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.